This is CKUA Live, and we're in CKUA's historic, grandiose LP library, sitting around with the guy who we have a bunch of records from, going back about a decade or so. His name is Donovan Woods, and Donovan, welcome to CKUA.
Hi, thanks for having me.
What a treat to have you here. We've been enjoying your music ever since, I guess it was The Hold Up that was the first one that came our way.
Oh, really? Wow, that's deep cuts. That's
sure,
great.
man. We still play My
you.
Cousin Has a Grey Cup Ring every Grey Cup season.
Yeah, I get a little, I always see that in my stats around Grey Cup time. I get a little bump.
A little
good.
spike.
Feels good.
So it's so good to have you here, and long overdue. You're touring through Alberta to support your second new record of 2016. You put out a brand new one at the start of the year, a full length, which has done extremely well for you. Hard Settle, Ain't Troubled. And now a brand new EP, which just came our way as we record this in the autumn.
Yeah.
And pretty excited to have that. They Are Going Away is the title of the new one.
Yeah,
Available,
nice.
I understand, only on tour in hard copy format.
Yeah, only in physical on tour. Yeah,
Right.
People are upset about that.
Oh, dear.
I don't care.
It's
man.
good to build a controversy.
Yeah, come on. Just come out to the show. It's like $15.
And Donovan, I see you got your guitar in hand. You're all warmed up, ready to go. Are you going to favor us with one of the tunes from one of those new records?
Yeah, I'll play a song called "It'll Work Itself Out" off of the EP that just came out.
Great.
Yeah.
Donovan Woods, live in CKUA's LP library.
Okay, I just go.
It's all you, man.
She wakes up in the morning, sleeping in the bed I made, bound to get away, I'd say. I wake up in the morning, thinking of her again, but did I ever make her day? Did I ever make her day? See, I broke my mind in half. Everybody, even I know that. Then I'll talk to the papers, then I'll drive back south, and it'll probably work itself out. It'll probably work itself out. So you were someone I knew and studied your face for years, and we know how it might appear. So we made up some story that we gotta tell sometimes, but we don't ever quite get it right. And we don't wanna live some night. I see how I broke my mind in half. Everybody, even I know that. And then I'll talk to the papers, then I'll drive back south, and it'll probably work itself out. Yeah, it'll probably work itself out. And then we'll both catch colds come spring. And there ain't no such thing as everything. You got reservations, girl. I got doubts, but it'll probably work itself out. Yeah, it'll probably work itself out. It'll probably work itself out. Yeah, it'll probably work itself out.
Well, that's the beautiful sound of Donovan Woods live in CKUA's LP library on CKUA Live. And Donovan, man, it's so great to hear you live in person, because I feel like listening to those records all these years, it kind of feels like you're just, breathing right there in my ear. It's like it's so intimate and it's
That's
so
what people
personal.
say. It feels like I'm like right beside their head all the time. So
Yeah, in a good way.
not in a creepy way.
Right, not at all. But it's interesting to me. I mean, it's so cool that you've been having so much success these days as well. You have this really cool day job where once, what is it, a week per month, you go down to Nashville and
Yeah.
write songs with various like superstars in the making.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, some superstars in the mix. Some that will never be superstars. It's hard. It's hard to be superstars.
It's interesting to me because, you know, I think of your music as almost like the antithesis of that like broad appeal country pop that Nashville is trying to produce, because your music is so personal. I just feel like it's coming from such a personal place, and also I feel like when I listen to Donovan Woods, I'm not really reminded of anybody else at all. So how do you square that, being like such a individualistic personal songwriter with trying to write for like a broad audience?
I think I think that the real challenge of songwriting is to make something really specific, really universal, to make specificity universal. And then, you know, I mean, the real thrill to me, especially in folk music where the language is so common, the real thrill to me about a song is when you hear something not only that you can relate to, but also something that you might actually say or have said.
Yeah.
In a, you know, like, I think that's what I'm trying to get at in my own music, and that's not far from what's going on in country music in some ways. And there are some radio things that are going on in country music which are as far from the thing that I do as possible. But I think lyrically, it's still narrative. It's still, you know, it's still detail-focused music, country music. So I don't think I'm that far from it. But I know what you mean. Sometimes I hear this stuff and I go, wow. I mean, even some of the stuff that I wrote that's on Canadian country radio, I hear it and I go, wow. But,
Really? What does it feel like to hear something somebody else is singing that
it's
you
a
co-wrote?
real, I've been much more thrilled with that than I have been with hearing myself on the radio. I don't know what it is, but it's so exciting. I mean,
Neat.
Yeah, I can recall the first time I heard another artist singing it and it was on the radio. It just is a relief. You just sort of, it's fun to let the songs go and let them do whatever they want. And they have to do the work of going around and singing them at all the radio stations. And you can just sit at home and just enjoy, you know?
You hit on the perfect gig.
It's
That's
a great
brilliant.
gig. It's the perfect lazy dude gig.
I have to say, I was so knocked out when I heard that Tim McGraw had recorded one of your songs. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that is what a crazy world we live in. Tim McGraw is doing Donovan Woods songs. That's phenomenal. I
It's
know what you
pretty
mean.
weird, right?
But they're such beautiful miniature little stories, each one of them. It does kind of make sense what you say, like the universal and the personal, something that everybody can resonate with. And, you know, you come from, I guess you might say, a sort of famously hard Scrabble working town. You're from Sarnia. I mean, you've been kind of making Toronto home and hanging your hat in Nashville for a while. But what role does Sarnia play? Like, growing up a Sarnia boy, what role did that play in your music, both writing-wise and in terms of actually trying to get out there and get it to people?
Yeah. Well, I think there was, I mean, it took me a long time. I think Sarnia was part of it. Nobody, like, I mean, Kim Mitchell is from Sarnia. That's
Yeah,
about it.
sure.
That's about it. The guy who played Scotty from Star Trek is from Sarnia.
I didn't know
The
that.
mom from Webster. It doesn't really feel like
I'm learning so much.
doesn't really feel like there's much opportunity. So it took me a long time to do it because I knew I had to get really good first or no one was going to take me seriously. But it certainly, everybody listened to country music. I mean, my dad listened to Alan Jackson like crazy, and
Wow.
my friends' dads listened to, because it's just a blue-collar town, and it's fancies itself to be working class. And although it's not, I don't think it is technically a conservative town. It fancies itself to be a conservative town.
Right.
So I think that's sort of part of the ethos of being blue collar and working class. So country music I heard it all the time. It was, you know, I was raised on it in a lot of ways. And there was a lot of things I always really loved about it. I just loved the songwriting. I loved narrative songwriting and narratives that take a twist at the end of the song. You know, like things that really seem schlocky now, they would get away with really easily in the 80s and 90s, and it was a joy to hear. But so I think I was just raised with an appreciation for that, for lyrics, and yeah, I hope that's why. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Did anybody come along there and kind of tweak your ear, like
Well-
more in the singer-songwriter world, and kind of get you on that path?
Yeah, my dad was as much as he was a country music fan, he was a Paul Simon fan, so like everybody's dad at the time. So I listened to Graceland like crazy, and Rhythm of the Saints, that Paul Simon record, like crazy. And I also had a dad who was a big Fred Eaglesmith fan. Like,
Oh,
would
sure.
follow Fred Eaglesmith around.
A Fred head.
He was a Fred head.
Wow.
And he still is, I shouldn't say. But so I had heard a lot of Fred Eaglesmith, and I was really, really drawn to what he did. And then I was listening to things that, like, I was listening to Hayden a lot like crazy. I mean, when Hayden's first record came out,
Neat.
that sounded so fantastic to me, and that got me into everything that was on Sonic Onion and everything that was on, like, those, you know, indie Toronto labels. And so that was sort of that, you know, it's sort of a mix of that. But Hayden in particular was like, he just seemed like such a normal guy, and he wasn't old either. He was like 20 when that came out.
Yeah, just a guy from Ontario.
Yeah, and it's
doing
weird to
his
see him
thing.
now because it appears as though we're the same age. At the, you know, what I mean? At this
It's
point,
true, you do,
and the first time I ever met him, I said, "Hey man, I loved your records when I was a kid," and he was like, "We're like the same age." I was like,
yeah, that's
yeah, I guess we are. But he was like 20, and I was like 16. So
Yeah.
you know,
those are big years at that age.
yeah. There's a big gap in those days for sure.
Well, and here you are strumming your guitar, crisscrossing the country, wearing a plaid shirt. I'm sure Hayden would be
I
proud.
don't know. I'm just a stereotype. I'm a Duke with a beard. The worst.
Far from it. Far from it. That's Donovan Woods, and he is in CKUA's LP library. And Donovan, can't let you go before asking for one more tune, if you
Sure,
could.
yeah. I'll play Drove Through Town. That's off the EP that came out too.
Great. This is that real standout from the new record.
Thanks.
They are going away. This is Donovan Woods, CKUA Live.
I was waiting in the car then before it got stolen. And you didn't love me yet. You were squinting in the sun, looking at me from the church steps. And all of the grass was still wet. But hold tight, you won't know what I look like. You wanna make sure I'm breaking down sometime. I drove through town. Oh, oh, wasn't anybody around. I drove through town. Oh, oh, it's easier to cry back now. I drove through town. Oh, oh, didn't get one red light. I drove through town. Oh, oh, and I felt relatively alright. Yeah, I felt relatively alright. You were living in a nightmare. Everything's coming undone. While all of my dreams came true. I was sleeping on the couch and waiting on the mail to come. And what the hell else could I do? But these days, you only hear what I can't say, and you only make sure I'm breaking down sometime. I drove through town. Oh, oh, wasn't anybody around. I drove through town. Oh, oh, it's easier to cry back now. I drove through town. Oh, oh, didn't get one red light. I drove through town. Oh, oh, and I felt relatively alright. Yeah, I felt relatively alright. I had days and days, days not to think about it. I didn't think about it. Lord, I drove through town. I drove through town. Thought of how it all went down. I drove through town.
The exquisite sound of Donovan Woods, CKUA Live, here in our LP library. Sounds so beautiful. Donovan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy trails. We'll see you next time. Hey.
Yeah. Hopefully soon.
All right. Don't be a stranger.
Right on. Thank you.